Let's talk about one-step equations that contain multiplication. And let's say that we have a problem that looks something like maybe 9x. So we got 9x equals 81. Now, you're given this problem, and you have to solve for x. And what does this problem even mean? Well, this means that 9 times a number times some number, we haven't found the number yet, equals 81. And since there's multiplication in the equation, we can undo that multiplication with division. When using division to solve a problem like this, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So in this case, in order to get the x by itself, or to isolate the variable, we would need to divide this term by 9. And why 9? Well, if we divide 9x by 9, we're going to just get x, because 9 divided by 9 is 1. So these would cancel out and leave 1x, which is the same as x. And whatever we do to this side, we have to do to this side. So we're dividing both sides by 9. Again, like I said, this cancels out here and leaves us with x equals, what's 81 divided by 9? That's a 9. So x equals 9 is the answer. And if you wanted to check your work and just do a 9 times the 9 that we just got, 9 times 9 does in fact equal 81. Let's try another example here. Let's say we have 7x 7x equals 21, and we want to find x. We want to find out what x equals to. So what does x equal to? You should already be thinking, your first step would be to think about isolating the variable. So we want to get x by itself. And that's the most important part. So how would we do that? We would divide this side by 7, because 7 divided by 7 equals 1. So these would cancel out and leave a 1 here. And whatever we do to this side, we have to do to this side. So 21 divided by 7 equals 3. And we already have our final answer. X equals 3. Again, you can double check that, because 7 times 3 does in fact equal 21. Let's say your instructor decides to be mean one day and throws a problem out that looks something like this. So we've got 0.5 x equals, let's just say 10. And how would you go about figuring this out? You just need to isolate the variable. To isolate the variable, you divide by the coefficient, the 0.5. So divided by 0.5, 0.5 divided by 0.5 definitely equals 1. And we have to do the same thing to the other side. Divided by 0.5. So, like I said, this equals 1. And 10 divided by 0.5 equals 20. So our final answer is x equals 20. And if you wanted to do that out with a calculator just to check your work, 0.5 times 20 does in fact equal 10. Let's do a couple more examples. Let's say that we have 20 equals 5x. I know I sound like a broken record, but the first thing you want to do is isolate the variable. To isolate the variable, you divide by the same coefficient. So you divide this side by 5. These cancel out to be 1. We don't even need to write the 1 because 1 times x equals x. So there's no point in even writing the 1. Whatever we do to this side, we have to do to this side. So 20 divided by 5. That equals 4. So x equals 4. Let's do another here. Let's say we've got 35 equals 7x. 7 times what number equals 35? Same thing, isolate the variable. Divide by the coefficient. 7 divided by 7 equals 1. 1 times x equals x. Do the same thing to the other side. 35 divided by 7 equals 5. You can check your work. I'm sorry, I didn't even say the answer yet. X equals 5. And you can check your work on that. 7 times 5 equals 35. And on this one, 5 times 4 equals 20.